Well, hello, Fernanda and Giselda. Thank you for presenting us, and we can start now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm really glad to be here with you, talking a little bit about the tobacco and vaping situation here in the States and in Kansas City, especially. My name is Maria Fernanda Reyes. I'm an international medical student from Mexico, and I'm currently working with JUNTOS, the Center for Advancing Latino Health, at the University of Kansas Medical Center as a research assistant. So, well, let's begin to talk about a little bit about Juntos. We serve the Latino and Hispanic community here in Kansas City through different research programs, community events, and vaccination events during the weekends, and educational material such as a Spanish podcast that we have with where we interview different doctors or health related specialists about medical concerns that the community may have. So that's basically what we do in Juntos. So speaking of our subject, our today's subject, understanding the risks, tobacco and vaping in Kansas. This is a pretty short presentation, but I hope it will be helpful for you. So first of all, what's the importance of being informed? Well, substance use in any form carries risk and potential consequences, whether it's tobacco, fentanyl, vaping, and these substances can have a profound impact on your physical health, such as your mental well-being, also around the people that you are living with, your relationships, and probably your future opportunities, meaning like job wise or educational wise. So by being aware of the facts and the risk and also the implications associated with these substances, you can empower yourself to make responsible decisions. So the tobacco, we already know that this is a huge drug that has too many people using it, even though some people do not consider it as a drug itself because it's legal and you can get it from the Quick Trip or your nearest convenience store. Is really important that we acknowledge it as what it is because it carries a lot of health complications for longer the time that you use it. So the tobacco. Well, first of all, the tobacco dependence in Kansas. This is a little of epidemiological data. Almost 1 in 4 Kansas adults, which represents 24.6% of people that are 18 years or older, use any tobacco products, defined or, for example, conventional cigarettes, e-cigarettes, or vapes, as the younger generations know them. Or we can also find it as chewable tobacco or in other different presentations. So it's so common to see it mostly and mainly as cigarettes, but we can find it in uh, different other variations. So the types of tobacco, uh, mentioning this as well, tobacco can be found in the cigarettes, the cigars. They're mainly from other Caribbean countries like Cuba, etc., and smokeless tobacco, with I already gave you the examples, and electronic cigarettes, such as the vapes. And the vapes have many other variations. You can see it as a little like pencil or like a pod. So what are the health risks or the health concerns? Well, smoke, as we may know, can cause a lot of complications such as strokes or lung cancer and coronary heart diseases in adults. But also the children who are exposed to secondhand smoke are at an increased risk, for sudden infant death syndrome, which this is a complication of either um, an issue that they may have in their nose or in their respiratory tract. Uh, Adding the smoke in the environment, it can cause this sudden infant death syndrome. So other complications that the children may have are acute respiratory infections and middle ear disease. Those are the most common ones. The sudden infant death syndrome is in a lower epidemiological occurrence, but it can also happen, and also a slow lung growth. So knowing this, we can talk a little bit more also about the vaping. Here we can see these many different types of vapes that we can find either in convenience stores, in our local supermarket, or also I have found or I have Google or look in Amazon vapes, and you can find them for like $10, probably $15, and they don't even uh, make sure that you're 18 years or older. Anyone can have it. Children can buy it with their own Amazon accounts or their parents. So this is pretty concerning, and it's really important for us to be aware of these issues. So speaking of vaping, what are the risks of e-cigarettes for youth and young adults? Well, speaking a little bit of the e-cigarette aerosol, it can contain over 700,000 chemicals that are harmful for the lungs, either if that's formaldehyde or ammonia. Also, cancer-related chemicals have been found in these aerosols and in the pods. So the youth e-cigarette use is associated with also with the use of other tobacco products, including e-cigarette, includes the regular cigarettes or cigars, as well as a form or a way to look a little bit like older and more elegant as they have referred. And also most e-cigarettes contain nicotine, which is an addictive and toxic chemical that can cause issues in fetuses development. And also this can cause a lot of neurological issues in younger population, because if people that are 25 years or younger consume these toxics as their brain is not well developed, it can cause some neuronal misconnections that can cause issues in the future for their brain. So also the nicotine can also harm adolescents and young adult brain development, and which continues into the early to mid 20s, as I mentioned. So are the e-cigarettes less harmful than cigarettes or regular cigarettes or cigars or other kinds of tobacco consumption? Yes, the answer is yes, but that doesn't mean that e-cigarettes are safe. The e-cigarette aerosol generally contains fewer toxic chemicals, knowing that 7,000 chemicals have been found in the regular cigarette, and 4,000 chemicals have been found in the e-cigarette. So somehow it has less chemicals, but it doesn't mean it's less toxic or it's better than the other one. However, the cigarette aerosol, it's not harmless. It's not harmless, so it can contain harmful and potentially harmful substances like the nicotine, as I mentioned previously, how harmful it can be in the development of the young adults' brains, and also heavy metals like lead, volatile organic compounds, and cancer-causing agents. So vaping basically involves inhaling and exhaling vapor produced by an electronic cigarette or pen, which is basically burning a chemical into your lungs. So what is an e-cigarette aerosol? Well, these contain, first of all, nicotine and also ultrafine particles that can be inhaled deep into the lungs, and flavoring and additives such as diacetyl and chemical linked to serious lung diseases. Uh, Also can contain cancer-causing chemicals and heavy metals such as the nickel, tin, and lead, and other volatile organic compounds, as we can see in this little image here. So what resources we can find here in Kansas City and in the United States for us to stop vaping and stop smoking. We have different resources available for the community. We have the nuestrasvoces.org organization that fights against the tobacco consumption around the country. Quit Assist also, and for younger generations, we have the Truth Initiative, smoking tools, different lectures, resources, articles that we can find, also text messages. Uh, Give me a second. I have here another. Oops. So text messages, counseling, and also here in Kansas City, we have the Can Quit campaign, where you can enroll either calling the 1-800 Quit Now or visiting ksquit.org. And also in the Missouri side, we have the Quit line, which is basically the same phone number, but the webpage is youcanquit.org.
Do you have actually any concrete steps, like how people go about quitting smoking? Like anything you can discuss?
Well, first of all, and also the the main steps are first, the person that consumes the tobacco has to be sure that wants to quit. That's like the first and the most basic step.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have to set a quit date. So, for example, like from now and in 2 weeks, I will quit and I will do it gradually. Uh, if the person consumes, let's say, a pack per day, probably try to consume less than a pack that it usually contains 20 cigarettes. So now this person will start consuming 18, and tomorrow will consume probably 16, and try to increase their consumption until their quit day. And then from now on, and by making sure that has the right counseling and the right advisories, um, can keep going with that uh, with that journey. We're also developing a curriculum that is already available in KU for English speakers, but we're developing for Spanish speakers as well for quitting tobacco.
And also,
So yeah,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
we also have this long health cohort study that it's an observational study that follows 4,000 young adults for approximately 5 years to paint a clear picture of a lung health and the factors involved in predicting and preventing lung disease. So if anyone here is interested and they are in 25 or in between 25 and 35 years old, they are basically qualified to join the study. It's a pretty cool study, and I think it's really important for our generation to join and to try to get a deeper or clear image of how their lung health is after the COVID pandemic and all the environmental factors that can harm our lung and our respiratory tract. So yes, thank you very much.
I have
To
another
the
question, if I can mention. I saw
Sure.
some statistics or flyers, and it said like 24-hour after you quit smoking, these are the positive changes in your body. Then it said 1 week after smoking, or 30 days and 4 years. So, and then there is actually a time period, I don't remember after how long, the body is totally rid of all the side effects of smoking. So it is like you never smoked before. Are you familiar with these statistics?
Yeah, well, it depends a lot of for how long the person
Mhm.
has been exposed to those chemicals, the tobacco and the fumes. It can go up to 10 years depending of the consumption.
Mhm. I think it's pretty discouraging. Encouraging statistics. Like you can actually, the changes are like starting right away. After
Yes,
like from so that would be kind of interesting slides to see maybe.
sure, yeah.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much. If this is it, we really appreciate it, and we will connect about the other presentation we discussed. So, thank you so much,
Yeah,
and
totally.
thank you so much. This was great. Thank you so
Yeah, my
much.
pleasure. Thank you
Bye
very
bye.
much.
Good luck. Good luck in United States with your studies.
Thank you.